This video tutorial is all about creating your first certification program. Certification programs are mainly used for continuing education, where users need to recertify continuously to maintain their license. Certification programs have the ability to reward users a certification that has an expiration attached to it, and to control how and when the user is able to renew that certification. We're gonna start by going into the Talent tab, and then navigate our way into the Certifications and CEU tile. Next, we're gonna open up the Certification Programs tile, and either manage or create a new program. When we create the certification program, we're gonna be prompted for a program name, and an optional program ID. The program name is self-representative. The program ID is used when you want to import a certification from an external source, and apply it to this specific program. Also, the program ID can be incorporated into the user's generated certification number if we wanted. After seeing what I filled out, the system is going to try nudging me towards some next logical steps. To keep it simple, I'm gonna start by managing the rules for this program. I'm going to start by dictating the different ways this certification can be awarded to users, and ultimately what it means if it's awarded in that method. For example, does it expire? How long is it good for? When can users start attempting to recertify? When I go to add a new rule, there are several branching options I can choose from. The user either completes a course, completes an ILT program, earns enough CEU credits, or it's been awarded manually. For this example, I'll set it up so when the user completes either of these two courses, they get a certification that lasts for 8 weeks. And they can start attempting to recertify at the beginning of week 7. When I save the rule, it gets appended to my list of existing rules if any already existed. But to show you one more example, we're gonna add another rule. And this time, if they complete the inner city course, we're going to award them a 12-week certification, which has a 4-week recertification period. Last example, this time I'm going to add a rule for when the certification gets manually awarded. We will award this certification for 2 weeks, which will give us enough time to verify this user's credentials. And if we find the credentials are bad or lacking, we can revoke the certification. Now we've got 3 rules here. I just want to point out, very quickly, how all these rules work together, and that is to say, only one will ever fire for a user at once. If somehow, a user met the requirements for 2 or more of these rules at one time, the first rule they meet on this list will be the one that runs, and applies for the user. So far, we've worked on setting up how a user is able to get the initial certification for the program. Now let's add a rule for recertifying users who already have the certification, and want to make sure their certification does not expire. You'll see that the interface and options are very similar. The biggest difference comes when deciding how to set the certification expiration date. We need to decide, do we want recertifying through this rule to append to their existing expiration date, or to replace it? In this example I am setting the time to 8 weeks. Are we adding 8 weeks to their existing certification? Or are we setting it for 8 weeks from the day they recertify? Certifications can be updated if needed, but we want to try to get this right the first time. I'll go ahead and save my rule. Now, let's jump back into Manage the Program, and preview it to give you an idea of what the user side of this will look like. This entire area can be branded. I want to draw your attention to this renewed certification page, right here. This will change, depending on whether or not the user already has a certification, if, and how, the user can recertify, and some other program settings as well. Ultimately, the certification program will steer the user in the right direction, when earning, or renewing their certification. Overall, the certifications functionality is quite comprehensive. There's a lot you can do to configure them to look and operate just how you need. This video should give you a good start to getting on your way to creating certification programs inside the Axis Learning Management System.